why building up your resilience to the uncomfortable is so important. So, as like many know, I might get emotional. My dad died recently, and I that was like one thing out of many that happened in the space of like 2 months or like 3 months. So, there's a lot that happened and went on in a very short period of time, and that really impacted me. Like I really struggled with intrusive thoughts and dreams, and like I was having like major flashbacks. My mind was kind of mixing my dad's death with what happened to my partner, and I was really struggling. I was in a really, a really hard place, a really dark place, and life just wasn't giving up. Like, as in, like giving me a break, and it was tough. It was really tough going, and I remember one day I like thought to myself, I thought, fuck, like the universe is so against me. And I had my little moment where I thought like, God, could it not just get easier? Like, and then I sat and I thought like, how can the universe be against me when I am such a small, tiny, you know, I don't matter, like in realistic terms compared to like Earth and the size of Earth and the amount of people that are on Earth and the world and then the universe. Like, I am nothing. I don't matter. And that might sound like really dark and almost like on the verge of like despair and stuff, but I don't know, there was something about that was like hopeful, in that none of this is like out of my control, that there isn't some force that is like going on out there that is out to get me, or like that the universe is conspiring against me, and that actually, like, everything that's happening, although it's completely shit, I have a choice about how I react and how I respond and how I orientate myself after going through these, what I'm going to label like traumas. Like, I even I find it really hard speaking about what happened to Sean. It was awful. I have never ever in my whole life felt terror like that moment when I saw him on the bathroom floor. Basically, my partner collapsed the day after the funeral, and he had really bad food poisoning and had to go to A&E, and had ambulance stuff, and he was fine anyway. He was fine, but yeah, just the compounding effect of my dad dying and then attending the funeral and then Sean collapsing and everything else that's happened. I just had this really like big realization that like it isn't the universe that's out to get me or is against me, and that actually like bad things just happen. Like, bad things happen. It doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. Bad things happen, and it is in the way that you choose to respond and react that then impacts the rest of your life, or how you are and stuff. And I really believe in like allowing space to kind of wallow and feel self-pity and to really feel your feelings, like to really like feel sorry for yourself and have a good cry, and to really kind of sit with that despair or what's going on. And then I think you have a choice. And then I think you have a choice, and you have to choose to move forward. You have to choose to control the controllables and move forward in a way that supports you as a person and the people around you, and living your life. Like, I just don't think that you can have the mentality that the world is against you, because it's not. And it's not because like because sadly, like, the realistic thing is that you don't matter. Like, and that can be like tragic, or it can be empowering. You get to choose. Like, you get to choose how you let that land. And I think that that's the most powerful thing that I've ever realized, is that, you know, it's all within like my control. Like, my choice of how I react and respond is what then impacts me for the long term. So yeah, in the short term, when bad shit happens, like, have a cry, have a wallow, you know, feel sorry for yourself. I think there's always place for all of that. But when it comes to, you know, your life and living, I think you've got to choose to live. You've got to choose to live. You've got to choose to move forward. You've got to choose to control what you can control, what is in your control. Yeah, I guess I really believe in that, and as a therapist, that's something that I look to kind of empower my clients with, is understanding and feeling what they're going through, but also looking at their options and exploring their choices, and also how you're holding yourself hostage in your own suffering, and how you, like, what is your tolerance to deal with that? Like, what is your window of tolerance? What is your tolerance to deal with pain and suffering? And what is your capabilities to sit with it and to deal with it? Like, how resourced are you? And I guess what therapy is for me, and what it has definitely taught me, is it's definitely made me more resilient, and it's really opened my choices up, and it's allowed me to think and contemplate and to build my skills in tolerating and dealing with this. It doesn't mean that I still don't get emotional and have a good old cry about things, because I always do. Like, like my car's just been told that it's like completely not safe for the road and it's going to cost me thousands. So I had a little cry, I had a little whine and a whinge to the mechanics, and then I was like, okay, and now I've got to move on. I've got to decide what I'm going to do and how I'm going to action and how I'm going to move forward with this. And it isn't, with everything that's gone on, I could be like, yeah, like, the universe is out to get me and this is shit. It is shit. It's still shit. It doesn't take away from it being shit. But I don't believe that, like, life is out to get anybody. I just think it is. And when we get to grips with the fact that, we don't matter, like, we are so tiny in comparison to, like, what is the universe and life and stuff, and looking beyond our own experiences and worlds, like, yeah, like, and I find that empowering, and I also know that can be really scary for some, but yeah, just a kind of some food for thought to have a think about and to contemplate, and yeah, just shine a different perspective on it.